some shit assholes.
Wow. Oh my god, who put that there?
Drink the foam, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, when Alan Alda took over behind the camera and the show got all dramatic.
Hey there. I am going to finally talk about why did I give up drinking alcohol? Liam, why would you stop drinking alcohol? It's so much fun. It's just so much fun. Because it fucking sucks. That's why. Long story short, yeah, that's basically all it is. Done. Video over. But this isn't going to be like a scientific video. I'm not going to be like, oh, you should give up alcohol because this, that, and the third. I'm just going to say like kind of why I gave it up and then just the journey of slowly giving it up or just cutting it out. So the last time I drank it's been a little over a year and a few days. But it was at the end of May. I went to this NASCAR event with my brothers, and then it was right before I moved to Florida. I technically already moved to Florida, but I flew back for this event. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to stop drinking after this. That was basically how it went. I was like, well, I'm moving to this new state. I don't know anybody, and I don't want to meet people around alcohol or just in the realm of alcohol, because then you kind of build a foundation with those people that, oh, this kid drinks, or anytime you hang out, you're drinking. And I didn't want that, nor do I really want that at all anymore. I don't. So yeah, so that was my thought process. So then going to that event, or that NASCAR race, I was like, I'm just gonna stop drinking after this. And that's pretty much how that went down. It wasn't some big, grave decision. And the reason it wasn't such a big of a deal, or it wasn't like some super amazing, crazy decision, was because I had been just cutting it out of my life through the years, basically. Because we drank, when I was in high school, we were little alcoholics. We drank so much. The summer going into my freshman year of college, we probably drank like 4 to 6 days every single week. Literally, like, it's not even a joke. Like, we probably drank 4 to 6 days every week. Going in. Like, I'm saying that out loud now, and I'm like, dude, that's not true. But I think 3 to 5 days a week. I don't know, I still feel like 4 to 6 days a week. We drank a fuck ton. We drank so much. And there was like stuff going on. I mean, one, it's like you're young, you're stupid, and that type of stuff's just kind of fun. You don't really care, like, waking up hungover, going to work. I worked at a cemetery that summer, so I didn't give a shit if I went to work hungover, because then I would just come home, work out, and then do it all over again. It was basically how that cycle went. But maybe 6 days is aggressive. I wouldn't say we drink 6 days a week. But still, we drank a fuck ton for being that young. Which maybe that's normal, but also a lot of the people I've met just throughout life, or just like school and stuff, it didn't seem like that was very normal. So maybe it's just a Midwest thing. But yeah, so then by the time I got to college, I still drank my freshman and sophomore. I drank all the years basically, but the amount in which I would drink just dwindled. But my freshman and sophomore year of college, I still drank pretty normally. Like, I didn't really care to cut back or anything. And then my sophomore year of college, maybe it was the spring semester of freshman year. It might have been my spring semester of my freshman year. I don't remember, but either sophomore year or spring semester of my freshman year, I didn't drink for like a month or two. And I was like, wow, this is kind of nice. And the reason I stopped drinking for that little period of time was because I was working out. I was just lifting weights at that point. But I was like, I feel like I'm limiting myself by drinking. And the idea in my head was always like, I'm going to try to do a bodybuilding show. Which is funny. I always thought I would do a bodybuilding prep, never a marathon prep or an Ironman prep. But that's another story for another day. But in my head, I always thought I was going to be like doing some sort of bodybuilding stuff because I always liked it. Which I never talked about it because I was always embarrassed about it. But it's because I was a pussy. But that's why I stopped drinking, because I was like, I feel like I'm limiting myself by drinking all this alcohol. And then I was like, oh, this is cool because I don't feel like shit all the time, or at least not as often. But then again, I didn't stick to that, and then started drinking again a little bit. And then I guess just my sophomore year, I would try to drink less. Oftentimes what I would always realize or notice is like, you would drink on the weekends, and then Monday, Tuesday, you kind of lose the little water that you're holding, or the little bit of weight you gained or whatever. And then by Thursday and Friday morning, evening, you're feeling pretty solid again to just go fuck all of your progress up on Friday and Saturday, and then repeat that cycle, kind of look like shit Monday, Tuesday, sort of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're solid again, and then fuck it all up. And basically just continually repeating that cycle to where you're staying, the highest you reach is here, and you're always just going Friday, weekend, go down, and then build yourself back up to Friday, weekend, go down, but you're always staying at the same plateau of just loserness. You're not really going anywhere. I'll look back at pictures and videos and stuff, and maybe a couple months ago, I was looking at stuff, I was like, bro, saying this to myself, I was like, you kind of look like a loser, because I was. I was like, that was loser activity. In my head, it is loser activity, so if you disagree, fuck you. A little aggressive, but don't care. I don't care. So then that was always a trend I noticed, and you're always just at that same, you're basically plateauing, but you're still dipping, but you never go above that threshold of loserness, I guess. But, and then we got sent home for COVID, all over the place, but then sophomore year, I started to drink a little bit less, still drink on the weekends. I tried not to drink every weekend, but I was always bad at saying no. I still wasn't good at saying no to people it was the people that I knew that I wasn't good at saying no to, but people that were newer in my life, I didn't really bother me to be like, nah. Because I didn't want people to think I didn't like them because I didn't want to drink. I was like, no, I like you, I just don't want to drink. But communication was never something I was good at either. And then it's like, if you're sober hanging around a bunch of drunk kids, like when you're young like that, I'm still kind of young, but when you're young like that, and then like you just don't want to be around that stuff. So then I was like, well, I guess I'll just drink. I don't know. But I guess I didn't care as much either. But, and then sophomore year of college is when it was freshman year of college, COVID hit. And then we got sent home, and we drank. Nothing crazy. Like, we would drink, but we weren't, like, going bonkers. Trying to remember back to that time. So long ago, which doesn't feel like it was, but it was. But no, we would drink and stuff. Me and my buddy would kayak a lot. Shout out to Vaughn. We would go kayaking a lot, and then drink beers. Crush some brews on the river. Good times. But, COVID hit, and then we would drink and stuff, but nothing, again, from what I remember, it was like nothing crazy. And then we went back to school sophomore year of college. This is when I was in Michigan. So freshman and sophomore year of college, I was in Michigan. And then I would drink. That's when I started to, so sophomore year I started to kind of be a little bit more conscious of drinking and being like, well, I don't want to drink all the time, but I still would. And then slowly getting better at saying no. There were times when I would go hang out with people and wouldn't drink when they were drinking. So like I was starting to make little steps and stuff like that. And then that was basically sophomore year. And then at the end of sophomore year, that's when I transferred out. And then I moved to North Carolina. I went to NC State, go Pack, hell yeah. And similar thought process to when I was going to Florida. I was like, well, I don't know anybody here. My brother moved there at the same time, but other than that, like, I don't know anybody here. So I can kind of build a foundation of not being the kid that drinks all the time to where maybe I'm the kid that just drinks sometimes. So that was kind of my thought process going into it. So there was some intention there. Intention is important with anything in your life. But there was some intention behind that because what I just said. I didn't want to be the kid that drank all the time. And so then I was kind of strategic with that. And then, but again, I'd still drink. And then me and my brother would drink a lot, actually. But I would still drink with the people I met at school and stuff. And then, but not a lot. Not that much. I was a little bit more picky with like drinking, which again, I was never fully secure in. So if you're doing something that all the other kids your age, if you're not doing something that all the other kids your age are doing, you feel like you're doing something wrong. So a lot of times people would go out or do whatever, and I'd be like, I don't want to drink. And you feel a sense of guilt, or at least I would feel a sense of guilt in that because I'm like, I don't, like everyone else is doing that, so I feel like maybe I should be doing that, but I was like, I don't really want to. I don't want to drink. I also don't want to spend $20 on like a beer that's this big. I was a beer drinker. Have to flex that at least. I wasn't drinking. Well, yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit? But no, I was just like, I don't want to do that. And that was like the building blocks of being intentional and thinking for myself and making decisions for myself. But there's a guilt tied to not doing what everyone else is doing, especially when it's your age, you're young, very malleable. But in some nights I probably did fold. I definitely did sometimes. I can't remember any specific times necessarily, but I'm sure I did. And then there's I don't even know where I was going with that. But that was technically my junior year of college, then senior year of college. I had to do it next year because of that transfer, but my senior year, I'll refer to the extra year as my super senior year, but my senior year that was when I started to drink a lot less. I'm trying to think of specific times. Damn. How do I not remember a lot of this stuff? I feel like right now I'm pretty tired today. Just was up late from work and then got up early-ish and woke up at 7, which in my head that's not early, but I got to bed at 1, or a little after 1 probably I got to bed a little after 1 from work and then stuff like that. So I feel like a little bit loopy today, to be completely honest. And then on top of all the exercise. But yeah, senior year, I guess, I can't think of anything specific, but I just started to drink less and less and less and less. And then, which you would see people, the unfortunate thing I realized, and especially when I look back to those times now, is as I began to drink less and less, I would see people less and less, which wasn't the biggest deal to me because looking back on it, that wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, because why do you want to be around people just to drink? Because you only have a relationship through drinking. But during that time, again, you're kind of like, oh, this kind of sucks a little bit. But that's where I always had the gym. The gym was always there for me. So that's why I think it's so powerful for me, among other reasons that I've never talked about. But so I think just having fitness there was always a helpful thing for me to have there for me in times like that when you're like, well, shit, am I doing something wrong? Because everyone else is out there doing this shit, but I'm not. So you question that type of stuff a lot, but getting through it and all that stuff makes you a stronger person. And then super senior year, I probably drank a handful of times. And then, by the end of super senior year, I graduated, I drank then, and then I started to get into running sorry, now I'm going to go backstep a little bit. I started to pick running back up. I think it was my senior year of college. Yeah, it was my senior year of college, and I might run like two to three times a week. And I was only running, there was like this one loop I knew that was like a little over a mile, which I remember at the time, I was like, this is crazy. It was kind of still surprising for me that I was even getting back into running. Just because I truly hated it when I was in high school. I ran all in grade school and high school. So my senior year of college is when I started to pick running back up. 2 to 3 times a week, would run maybe a mile, maybe 2 miles if I could. There was also a loop, I call it the Publix loop. This was in Raleigh, North Carolina. That from my apartment, there was this big loop that looped by Publix and then would come back, and I think it was just over 3 miles. So I would do that on Sundays. And that kind of is what built the foundation for Sundays being long runs. Because I used to do, before I picked running back up, I used to walk a fuck ton. But I would go on like massive walks on Sunday. Sunday I would wake up whenever I wanted to. So some days I'd wake up at 12 in the afternoon. Sometimes it was 2 in the afternoon. And I was still waking up early, but Sunday was like the reset day. Sleep in whenever I wanted. I'd go to the grocery store, I'd eat, and then I would just go on a crazy long walk for like hours. And so that's kind of what built that Sunday long run foundation mentality. But yeah, so then I would do that 3 mile loop on Sundays and stuff. And then again, that's another reason why I liked giving up the drinking, was because then as I started to take on more fitness endeavors, it becomes more important. Because I could manage it with the gym when I was just lifting weights. Because also I never really worked out in the morning when I was drinking. In my prime drinking days, I never worked out in the morning. So you would drink at night, stay up late, sleep in, have the day to like recover, and then go. I would work out at night. Usually how that would go. But but as I started to take on more fitness things, it becomes really important for you to not keep knocking yourself down, because you need to be able to recover to do these things. And then another big reason why I started to stop drinking in any type of like weed, because it all just fucks with your head. You can't think straight. But I'm trying to remember what year this was now. I think maybe this was my senior year. I was doing this thing I call Crowley Creations, which I still don't want to kill that thing off, but I was doing a bunch of fiberglass work, making this thing for my car, which I have one, and it's on my car, but I was making them to sell. And I was doing that in my old apartment, and then that was a really fun time in my life, because it was just like go mode 24/7, but I loved it. Because I was in school, I was working that was when I was working as an oyster shucker at a restaurant. So I was schooling, I was oyster shucking, I was working out, and then I was doing this Crowley Creation stuff. And basically I was doing all 4 of those things. If I wasn't doing one, I was doing the other. If I wasn't doing that one, I was doing the other one. It was just constantly moving. So that was when... So then, during that point, I was like, okay, I need to cut a lot of this shit out, because I can't... Because I was like, I need to be on. Like, I need to be straight, good to go every day, every morning. So that was also when I started waking up at 5 a.m. Because at that point, I was waking up at 6 a.m., and then Crowley Creations came about, and I was like, I need more time in the day. So I woke up that extra hour earlier, and then, so that was where 5 a.m. became a normal thing, like a consistent thing, because I would do it periodically before that, but before that it was always 6 a.m., periodically 5, but then it became every day was 5 a.m., except for Sunday. Sunday was still the sleep-in day. But, so then I was like, I need to be on every day. I can't be drinking or I would take like these Delta 8 gummies. Delta 9 is like your typical weed. Delta 8 was like whatever the fuck. But I would take those gummies, not all the time, but I would take them pretty often, just because it was fun to do. But then I was like, you wake up and you're kind of foggy. So I was like, I can't be doing that shit. I need to be dialed in every day, baby. And then, long story short though, Crowley Creations lasted for a few months. And then I got caught in my apartment doing all the fiberglass stuff, and they were like, you gotta cut that out. If you don't know anything about fiberglass, it's extremely messy and extremely potent with chemicals. So, like, I stunk up the entire floor of my apartment. But it's not something I want to die off, but it's just not the time to do it right now. I'm trying to do all this social media crap and this fitness stuff. But hopefully if I have the funds and more time in the future, what does that mean future-wise? Could be years down the line, could be months down the line. But I'd like to bring that back to life, because Crowley Creations is a creative pursuit, and then I can do whatever the fuck I want. I could do the car stuff, but even this table that you might be able to see, I made this, and then like the bed frame, I made that too. It'd be really cool if I can make little pieces like that and then sell them. And then you have, or it could be, what the hell is the word? Commission, where like someone comes to you like, hey, can you design me a coffee table? Can you design me so-and-so? Or whatever. Can you design me this aesthetic car piece? Like, yeah. That's like the idea with Crowley Creations. Because I like being creative. That's my thing. I went to school for design. I left my design job because it was fucking stupid. But, no, it wasn't stupid. I'm being negative. But it wasn't stupid. It just was not for me. Sitting at a desk like that is not for me. Whew! But Crowley Creations is something that is still on the back burner in my mind. I will not let that die. That is my baby. That is my baby. That is my... Yeah, that's awesome. I still really like that, and I just hope it's something that has to be put to the side for right now while I'm trying to build all this other stuff with the coaching and the fitness and the social media. But I think once you build the social media, you have a brand through yourself, and you have a following. So you have all these people, and then they know who you are, and then to have something, granted, like I have to be good at it, but if to have something that I made, that could be cool. Like, so you have a following. But also the Daily Read book, I want to make those into books. And, I mean, you could make I already have a shit ton of them written down. I could probably make a couple books out of it by now. But I want to eventually, at some point in my life, make those into actual books. And then you sell those. And then you build an audience, a brand, or a following through social media, and then hopefully they would buy that. So that's why social media is such a cool opportunity that's free. It takes your time, and I'm investing a lot of my time towards it. So in that sense, there's a currency, but money-wise, it's free. All you really need is a phone. So it's a really, really, really cool opportunity that before social media never existed. So I'm really trying to take advantage of it. I'm getting off topic of the alcohol thing. But yeah, so then my senior year I would drink very rarely, and then came up to my graduation, I drank, and then I moved out to Florida at the beginning of May for a few days. And I flew back to North Carolina for a NASCAR race with my brothers, and then I drank there. And then I was like, after this, I'm going to be done drinking. And then I kind of said that to some people, and they're kind of like, oh. Like, I don't know if it's something that people believe or not, or they think it's like something you're saying, but I was like, no, I'm done. And then, because I had just been wanting to give it up for so long, because of fitness and all that stuff, and I just wasn't good at saying no. It's really what it came down to. But, yeah, and then I just was like, I'm done. And I was done. Because now I'm here, like I'm here in Florida, I don't know, I mean, I know people now, not like a fuck ton of people, but I know people now. But before that, I was like, I don't know anybody here. I don't want to meet anyone through drinking, because I just don't care to involve myself in any of that shit anymore. I just don't look back. Like, there are fun memories from drinking, but I don't look back and think like I'm missing out on anything. I don't feel like it would be adding anything to my life, especially again with all this fitness stuff I'm doing, working out, running, the bike, swimming. It's such a fine line, maybe is the right term, but it's just it's so important to be able to recover, especially because then I have my serving job, so I'm on my feet all day, And then it's a great little, it's not a great situation, but it's a good situation in that I don't have to work as much to make enough money to support myself, I guess. I hope. I have a budget, but I have more time to do this stuff, and that's why I left my other job. Among the other fact of, I just fucking hated it. I didn't like it at all. I hated sitting at a desk every day. I have videos I took from like when I first started there and just kind of throughout my time there of like me just like not yelling at myself, but just like saying like, you got to get the fuck out of here. So yeah, that was rough. I didn't like that at all. But yeah, and then I gave it up, and then it's just so good. I don't miss not drinking at all. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I'm saving money by not drinking beer. It's just like, truly there's no benefit to drinking other than to say it's fun. It's like with people that don't want people to have guns. They're like, they shouldn't have guns, blah, 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 blah. But the biggest argument, because realistically it's like, is anyone going to break into your home? I mean, depending on where you live, yes, but like in general, that doesn't happen that often. It's never happened to me. But other than to say like, it's just fun to have, and it's fun to shoot every once in a while. Same thing with drinking. Like if you're the type of person like, it's just fun, then yeah, that's the value in it. But like, put that aside, like I don't think there's any value in it. It just makes you feel like shit. It's not good for you, and it just takes your money. I don't know. I think again, you can have fun times, you can bond over it, like with it, but you can still bond without alcohol. You can have fun times without alcohol. So yeah, it's really nice to not wake up and feel like shit. Again, the only times I wake up and feel off or feel like crappy is when I don't get enough sleep. And which unfortunately is kind of happening more often than not nowadays with this serving job, because like I mentioned, there are nights where I won't get home till close to 1, and then I like still have to eat, shower, cook a little bit and stuff like that. So that sucks, and those mornings are always rough because I feel super lazy if I'm not getting up at like 4:30 or 5. But I need more than like 2 or 3 hours of sleep with the fitness stuff, or with all of this fitness stuff. And then, oh yeah, and then it's like if I were to be drinking and add that into the mix, nothing good comes of it. There ain't nothing good that comes of it. Again, I look back on pictures and videos and stuff, I'm like, bro, you were kind of a loser. Looking like a freaking loser. But, that's what it is. Yeah, I recommend, if you're still watching, I don't know how long this video is, but if you're still watching, I recommend you give up alcohol for at least a couple months. I think in the grand scheme of your entire life, if you've always been drinking, then 6 months isn't asking a lot. Because then you can go right back to it. Because you think like, there's all this time you're drinking, there's this little bit of 6 months, and then there's all this time. Try it. 6 months. Give it a go. I dare you. I don't think you can do it. Prove me wrong, bitch. Prove me wrong, because I don't think you can do it. You can't do it. You're too soft. You're weak. You're weak. You can't do it. You should try it. Prove me wrong. Please and thank you, because I'll win either way. Yeah. This is awesome. I was excited to hit a year, but it doesn't even... Like, I don't even care. But it's exciting to be like, woo, I haven't drank alcohol in a year. But again, it doesn't even... I don't even fucking care. And there's the principle of it too. So like, no alcohol means no alcohol. I started that serving job and they want you to try the drinks so you can sell them better. But I was like, no. I won't even put it in my mouth and spit it out. I don't want that shit in, on, or near me. I was like, no. So I'll lie to people and be like, oh yeah, this is our... Because I don't want to be the dude that's like, oh, well, I don't drink. I'm not the guy that says that. No one even really knows that. I mentioned it on my story, so some people know it now, but... And you can assume, right? I post fitness stuff. You can assume I don't drink. But I'm not the guy that's like, I don't drink. Yeah, buddy, I don't drink. Buddy. No, I don't really talk about it. So if people ask me, I'll be like, no, I've never had it. But, and a lot of people think I'm younger than 21. When I'm about to be 25. But a lot of people think I'm younger than 21 anyway, so they probably don't think I can drink, which is fine. So yeah, anyways, I'm rambling, but you should give up alcohol too, because it's going to better your life 10 fucking fold. You're going to look better, you're going to feel better, your metabolism won't be fucked up, so you're not going to be a fat ass. Your brain's going to think better, you won't have all that brain fog when you wake up in the morning. You're going to be healthier, you're going to feel, like, even your joints, like the inflammation from drinking, there's truly just no upside to it, other than to say, I just want to have a fun time. But put that aside. There's no fucking upside to it. Prove me wrong. I haven't really done any research to say that factually, but just from my knowledge, I just don't see any goddamn upside from it. So yeah. If I don't stop this now, I'm going to ramble. But if you like... No one's watching this, but if you like that... If you like the rambling, I'll try to make videos more often, but I try to do videos like once a week, even though I haven't made one in like 2 weeks, coming off the marathon, but I'm going to film one tomorrow, going to go on a long bike ride. I'm still trying to, if you're familiar with patellofemoral syndrome, it's kind of what I'm dealing with in my knees, specifically this one. This one's kind of superficial. This one's worse because it's just an overuse thing. Oh, jeez, excuse me. It's just I'm burping. It's just an overuse thing with your knee, the patellar tendon and the kneecap. And it's kind of like underneath the cap. And it's been fine. I've been riding that line all throughout the prep and the marathon. And then I took the week off from running after the marathon. I ran one time. And then the Sunday, a week exactly after the marathon, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go try and beat my time. And then I ran 17 and a half miles pretty hard. And then I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. My body hurts and I feel like shit. And then I messed my knee up. So then my knee was hurting when I was running. And then I still had to walk. I ran 13 miles out. And then I still had to walk like another 6 or 8 miles or something back home once I stopped running. So I stopped running at 17 and a half miles. But I still had to walk the next 6, 7, 8, like 9.5 miles, 9 miles or something. My math might be wrong. But I had to walk that whole way. My knee really, really hurt. And then that Sunday night I went to bed, I didn't sleep at all because my knee was throbbing. I felt like such a little baby. I felt like such a baby, but my knee hurt so bad, it was just like screaming. And it got super swollen. It's still a little bit, it's still very subtly swollen, this knee, just like very small now, but yeah, it was like super swollen and it hurt godly bad. But I deserved that because I was being stupid and impatient and just dumb. But so that's why my knee's messed up, and that's why my running's been weird. I ran 5 miles today, which felt fine, just as long as I was sitting at a 7:40 pace, which feels fine on my knee. But once I try to pick that pace up, I have to push more. That's when the knee kind of acts up. So just need to chill, be conscious of it, let it rest, and just not push it, which is bothersome because now I have the 1 mile, the sub 5 minute mile I want to do that I surely cannot do with this knee right now. That's just going to make it go crazy. And then I still want to do the sub 3 hour marathon. But then it's like, because I'm in this weird limbo with triathlon training and the marathon, because I still want to focus on the marathon because I'm still confident that I can get that time. Because I've been biking a lot. And so in terms of cardio in your heart, my heart's elevated at like 140 to 150 for depending on the ride, for over 2 hours when I'm on the bike, which is great for my cardio. But in my head, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not running, so I'm not getting better at running, which isn't true. And that run this morning proved that is not true. 740 at a 142 heart rate, and it's like pretty humid outside, is pretty solid. So I don't think I'm losing a lot of fitness. Hopefully I'm not losing any, but in my head I'm losing fitness. I don't know, we'll see once I can start truly running again. But I've been battling that mentally in my head because I want to get those two things off the list before I go into the Ironman prep. But right now I'm in this limbo of like, I can't do it. So I don't know, I've been struggling with that, I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with everything I just said, but this video is very long probably now. I hope you watched to the end. If you watched to the end, comment beans. Beans came to my mind. Comment beans, BEANS, with an exclamation point. I love you. This is awesome. We're just gonna keep grinding, man. Oh, another thing I want to mention is, yeah, because of my knee too, I haven't been able to do like any like heavy pressing in the gym. Like this knee I could do it on, but I'm not gonna build up this leg and not this leg. So I feel like my legs are definitely smaller just in general from all the endurance stuff, but right now it's like I can't really do much of anything with them, specifically this one, and I feel like my legs are getting small. That's another thing that I've been battling with, because I don't want to get small. I don't want my legs to be skinny and weak and small. So that I've been battling with small legs, which sounds silly, but it is. And then I've been battling with trying to check off the sub 5-minute mile and the sub 3-hour marathon whilst being with the triathlon stuff, because in my head I was supposed to be all in on the triathlon stuff by the end of May, and it's the end of May, it's May 31st. So those are the things that I've been messing with my head lately. And also just this whole situation of leaving my job and being fucking serving, all that type of stuff. But I'm really hoping that whatever. Quit drinking alcohol. Don't drink alcohol because it's not good for you. If you want to have fun sometimes, do it, but you should give it up. Try to stop drinking alcohol for an extended period of time. You'll realize how much better your fucking life is. You're gonna take steps in life that you never thought were possible. You're gonna be a better person all around. You're gonna be a better person to your wife, your husband, your brother, your sister, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your fucking dog, and more importantly, yourself. You're gonna be a better person to yourself. Oh, baby, you should just give it up because it's bullshit. Have a great day. I love you.